Hey y'all, hey, this is Jaleisha with Black Woman Fly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. Can I just say that I am overwhelmed by the followers, the subscribers, the comments. This has been, the past week has been really, really enlightening to me and empowering and nurturing to my soul. So I thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's continue to grow the tribe. Thank you. But if you could tell from the title, I'm going to talk about my recent trip to Lisbon, Portugal. It's not going to be a regular vlog where I'm showing you I went here, I went there. I'm just going to tell you about it from my soul experience, what's on my heart, and why it has confirmed my next steps. Because I've been getting a lot of questions. What do you plan to do once you sell your house? Since you don't have a job, I plan to live abroad. I plan to travel for a year. I plan to be an expat. That's what I plan to do. And I normally don't want to tell my business, but because I'm so convicted in this and I don't know y'all, I can't see y'all, and nobody I know around me know my business, I'm okay with sharing it. Okay, because I'm protected. So I wanted to just talk about what led me to Lisbon, and then also the experience that confirmed to me in Lisbon about there's more to life than America, and there's more to life than struggle, and there's more to life than work and capitalism and pain. So just to start off, a few years ago, I've been wanting to travel. I've been wanting to go abroad, but I have been programmed. And I think we're all kind of programmed. Like if you go abroad, there's you're exposed. People don't want you there. There's racism. There's X, Y, and Z. But I mean, that's all in America anyway, right? Like we are living in a country where there is mass shootings every day, and it's the norm. And we're living in a country where anybody can do and say whatever to you. There's racism outright. I mean, it's always been racism. This country was bred on that, but now it's just in your face, okay, because of the administration and the White House, government, politics. All this stuff is a mess, but it's in your face. You see it. So when people talk about going across the country, oh, it's going to be this happened to you and this happened to you. Look, you could be anywhere. You could be anywhere. So I've been wanting to leave, but I've been afraid to go because I'm like, okay, if I do go, how am I going to survive? How am I going to do this? I need to be X, Y, and Z. A couple years ago, I went to Rome by myself for the first time, a solo trip, when I turned 34. And that was very enlightening for me. It was a 5-day trip. And it was the first time I was in Europe and I saw a different aspect of life. Because in America, it is always go, 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 work, work, work. And Europe is calm, honey. They don't live to work, okay? They work to live, but they don't live to work. And so they are very much on chill mode. And they are outside, they're talking to people, they are present, they're not on their phones. They're just, what's more important to them is the values of having family, connection, community. Work is just there so that they can be able to, they got to pay bills. But it's not a necessity. It's not like the most important thing. Whereas in America, there is no balance. It is no balance. And that's why people are stressed, angry, ill, upset, underpaid, all the things, right? All the things. And then they don't have the resources as far as enough health care or enough resources that if they need to take off or if they needed to take time away, that they'll be covered, that they are supported, that they are loved or nurtured at their job. It's a whole other thing. So Europe is different than America. That's one thing. So when I went to Rome a couple of years ago, that enlightened me. And beginning of this year, when I started my FNLA journey, I'm into astrology. And so to those who, I'm into astrology. I like to pull my charts. I like to pull different things and read. I'm a nerd, so I like to learn. And there's this thing called astrocartography. And what it is that it is pretty much you putting your birth information, and it tells you or what cities or countries are really in alignment for certain things, such as like creativity, work, love, romance. Like, I'm not saying you're gonna have those things, but if it's a different energy when you go there. And I'm an energy person, okay? So when I pulled my astrocartography chart, Lisbon, Portugal was coming up, And I got really excited. I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to quit my job. When I quit my job for my birthday on October 1st of this year, I'm going to Lisbon. I'm going to spend 2 weeks there. And if this really is meant for me, I'm going to go. Because I had been following certain women on YouTube. I believe one of the women, Stephanie, she hosts Exodus Summit with Rashida, I believe. And these are Black women who have found a way to leave America, and they are encouraging and offering tools and resources and summits, or hosting summits for Black women to escape America. Well, not escape, but leave America to live a life abroad. And there is ways of doing that. And I had been following them, but I didn't have the courage to move forward before. I had even been going to meetings. I had started connecting with women there, but I wasn't making moves. I was too afraid to go. So I made a choice that when I quit this year, I was going to go ahead and book the trip. Before the trip happened, I left at the end of September. Before the trip, I'm very intentional. I wrote down what I was desiring. I wrote down that I would like to meet aligned souls. I would like to meet aligned connections. I would like to romance myself. I would like to step into my confidence again, step into remembering who I am. And, whatever's open, I'm open. I'm open because I had spent a year and a half, 2 years in isolation, angry, sad, depressed, all the things. I wanted to reshift my energy, especially with the new birthday coming in. So I went to Portugal on the end of September, and instantly the energy was different when I was in Lisbon. It was just different. It was lighter. It was calm. It was ease. It wasn't heaviness. The food was light. It was almost if the downloads, my creativity was overwhelming. I was journaling 2 to 3 hours every day. Things kept coming to me. I was meditating. I was in prayer. And I started feeling confident in myself again. And I have alopecia, and I'm going to release a video about that. But I have alopecia, and I wore my bald head out, and I dressed myself up every day. I romanticized myself. I intentionally said that this was going to be a romantic trip for myself. I'm single, but this is going to be a romantic trip for myself. And every day I dressed up, did my face. I wore dresses or clothes that made me feel sexy, that made me feel aligned. And I would set intentions for that day, that I'm going to meet aligned souls, that I'm going to put myself in places. And I signed up for community events. I went on Eventbrite. I went on Meetup. I signed up for a lot of different things, and I went to these events. And for someone who has been isolated for 2 years, I was slightly scared, but I was also really just empowered and okay, let's go. And so once I started going to places, I started meeting people. And I was kind of down at first because I wasn't meeting any. I was only seeing. And so I was like, well, maybe this isn't, I don't think I should be here. Maybe this is, because I've heard there's a pretty big Black community in Portugal, and I'm in a Portugal Black group on Facebook, and I had put myself out there to meet people, and I connected with one woman there, which was amazing, but they weren't hosting things, and so I wasn't seeing Black people. But one of the events I went to, I aligned to a woman who also was visiting, who was in her 40s, who was a creator. Pretty much she was an actress, and she decided she wanted to scout to see if she wanted to live here. She was scouting multiple places, and we had the most in-depth conversation, most exposing conversation, where I don't know this woman from Adam's Eve, but this normally this is what happens when you travel solo. You start meeting people who are aligned with you. You start meeting new people that see you, and you feel so comfortable with them. And then we met another woman, and the rest of the trip I just hung out with these women, and they were encouraging. One of the women actually introduced me to someone else because I told her I was wanting to do a podcast and about mental health, and she introduced me to a podcast manager who specializes in mental health therapist podcasts and anything that is spirituality. And I was like, this is alignment. Oh my God, this is alignment. And I just, things kept rolling, and I was okay, well, maybe I should romanticize about a man, possibly. And I started setting the intention I wanted to meet men, and I was meeting men, but some of them, I'm not a casual person. I don't do flings. I don't do I don't play games. I don't care if it's across the country, if I'm visiting a short town. I'm not playing games. And so I don't do casual. I'm not saying you got to commit to me up front, but you have to be intentional. And so when you're abroad, some people don't take you seriously. And what was amazing to me, the most aggressive men, or the men who made me feel uncomfortable, were black men, which was so disappointing. One of the black men was from Chicago, which I understood his energy because he's from Chicago, but he still was aggressive. And there's a difference. Because I'm healing, I used to like aggressiveness because I thought that meant that's a man, but I like a man that's assertive and kind and gentle. And so there's a difference. Assertive and aggressive is different. So, but there were also who were approaching me and talking to me and flirting with me, and it felt good. I always thought I feel awkward flirting, but when someone makes you feel safe, just their energy makes you feel safe, my femininity flourishes. I am thebomb.com. Like I'm that woman, okay? I'm that woman. I feel like that woman. I was romanticizing my life, and because I was romanticizing me, I was romanticizing these connections. It felt good. But what I would say with the men there, because they knew I wasn't gonna be there, I was visiting. Some of them, it was just temporary, and so there was nothing there. But it was refreshing. It was so refreshing to my ego. I ain't gonna lie, I'm bald headed. It was fresh to my ego. It was refreshing to my soul, my spirit, that I don't crave. If I'm gonna deal with a man, I do not crave or do not desire anything that's toxic, because I've done that and did that and lived in that. I desire safety, and I desire intentionality, and I desire courtship, and I desire commitment, and I desire healthy, kind, compassionate, nurturing love. And there's a certain thing when people's energy is very inviting, very loving, and very safe. When a man's energy is like that, a woman will relax. And I'm naturally always having to do for myself, so I would be in my masculine. So there were so many men I came across where I felt like, and that felt really good. I haven't experienced that here a lot in Texas and Dallas, so that felt good. And I think that's welcoming to black women. Now, I'm not going to go too much longer, but I also want to talk about the race thing. Did I experience racism? No. But do people stare at you? Yes. I also have a bald head, but I'm cute. But people do stare at you. I didn't experience racism. I didn't have that. And I crossed a black man who was going off about his racial experience, and he kept going off about it. But I'm the type of person that I've experienced racism here in America. So I don't even, the more people, and you meet a lot of white people. And the thing is, you meet people from different countries. They travel there a lot because you can go different places. And it's not really about race there. It's really about class. It's really not about the race. It's about the class. It's about your money level. Do you have money? Because the people of Portugal, they're actually not getting paid enough. They're actually not getting a lot. And so there's a lot of digital nomads who are taking up the space there. You can live there if you work from remotely, because it's a good deal. But if you live there, you're actually a citizen, it's rough. So it's not about race, really. It's really about classism. It's really about how much money you got. And yeah, that's what it's about. So I have not experienced it, but being in Lisbon and being in Portugal, and I've talked to so many people, they tell you certain places that have racist issues. But I thought while being there, and also with Portugal, it's leaning more towards the right. And so people are kind of nervous about that. But I'm not. I just know when I got back to America, immediately I started having premonitions of mass shootings. And the next day I kept hearing about mass shootings. My energy was all jacked up. And so that was a confirmation to me. It's time to leave. It's time to explore. Do I think Lisbon is the end all be all? I don't know. But I do know that God has been pulling me and telling me to go and to explore and to see what else is out here. And I'm going to trust that. And God has been telling me to get on YouTube and just talk to you guys. And I did that last week, and a video got how many views, and I started getting followers and comments, and I started seeing tribe. And so I'm trusting myself. I'm trusting that it's necessary for me to go. So my plan is to travel to 4 different places next year. and then I can decide where I really want to be, what's calling to my spirit, and I can go ahead and start the visa process wherever that is. Do I have a remote job right now? No. But when I sell my house, I'll have some equity, and then by that time, hopefully I'll have a remote job, or hopefully something will kick off in other ways that I'm not going to discuss, but things will evolve. But right now, my focus is trying to get the house sold. And my roommate, well, not my roommate, the woman that's leasing my house, I told her that I was going to start talking to realtors, which I have. So now she's telling me she's looking for a place. So I don't know if it's going to be quicker than I thought. I told her she could wait to January, but she may move before that, because she doesn't want to be here when I show the room, when I start having people come look at the house. So we'll see. I may be leaving before that. And that was unnerving because I wasn't expecting that. But I'm in the flow, and I'm gonna trust that whatever folds is gonna happen for me. But that's it. That's all. I think Black women should be more open to traveling. You should be more open to dating outside your race. You should be more open to exploring solo travel. It is the most divine experience. You don't have to have a man, and you don't have to wait on nobody. You just need to go. You just need to go and be open to new experiences. It is safe. I didn't feel, and I should have said this, I didn't feel nervous, or I didn't feel worried at all. I had pepper spray in my wallet, but I didn't need it. I wasn't pickpocketed. I wasn't nothing. Everyone was kind. People in Lisbon, they're out, and they come outside at 9-10 at night, and they're out just talking and just living it up. And they're looking at us like we're crazy in America. They think we have lost our mind, which we have. They think we are idiots and we're dumb, and they don't understand what's going on. And that's not just Lisbon. The people that were visiting from other countries think we're idiots as well. So they're like, y'all don't read, y'all stupid. Like, look, it's a different thing. I like intelligent conversations and in-depth people. And so everywhere I went, I was having in-depth conversations, and it just was so glorious. It just was a different vibe, and it just showed me that there's more to this world than America, and that we kind of limit ourselves by putting ourselves in a box, and we can free ourselves at any time. And so I'm freeing myself at this point. But that's all I got. If you're an expat, if you are actually traveling, please let me know in the comments. Tell me your journey. I want to hear it. I would love to know about it. If you're thinking about traveling, if you want to do that, tell me that in the comments as well. Like, we only got one life to live, especially if we're late bloomers. You better go. You better go. You better go. You better go. Your tribe will find you. Your people will find you. You just got to go. You just got to do it. You got to do it. Do it scared, do it fearful, but do it anyway. Just show up. Just show up, just show up, just show up. And one more last thing. When I was in Portugal, I got a tattoo for courage. That is my word of the year, courage. This is taking a lot of courage, what I'm going to do, what I've been doing, and what I'm going to continue to do. And so I'm fearful as heck. I am nervous as heck, but I have courage, and I'm going to keep showing up for myself. So hopefully you find a way to show up for yourself too. I see you guys later. Peace out.